So today we're in Bratislava, the capital of Slovakia, and we're staying at a hostel just outside the old town on a pedestrian street, and a tram goes on down the road towards the castle, and there's our hostel right there, and very high-tech hostel, very like. And there's a pub which I went to last night called the KGB pub, full of old memorabilia from the Soviet era. Very fun. So we're going into Old Town Bratislava. It's a really warm day, so it's 8 a.m. and it's already warm. So we're getting our touring in before noon, and then go to a swimming pool this afternoon to keep cool because it's really hot. They said it's never been this hot before in Bratislava. So Bratislava has really good public transportation. The electric trams, they run so often and it's so quiet. Okay, so we're gonna cross the street and enter Old Town, right where that tower is. It's the beginning of Old Town. Okay, we crossed the street, and behind me is a beautiful church. Sadly, the doors are not open to enter the church, but we'll see later maybe. Okay, we're entering Old Town Bratislava, and this is the last remaining gate to Old Town that's still here, and it's called St. Michael's Gate. So I like it a lot because my name's Michael and this is Michael's Gate. So in the evening, this is all very lively with street musicians performing here around the corner. And here we go. Beautiful, beautiful Bratislava. So this beautiful tower, there is a ticket office. You can buy a ticket and go up the tower. So hopefully we can do this today. Interesting, some businesses. They have a Casa de Havana. So they have Cuban cigars and mojitos here in Slovakia. And hopefully today we can visit the Slovak folklore restaurant. They're closed on Monday and Tuesday. I got here yesterday, Tuesday, so today's Wednesday. Hopefully they'll be open for business and we can enjoy a lunch with Slovak folk singing and dancing. So charming Old Town reminds me again of Prague and Vienna because they are similar with the histories. Charming little streets. But this is the main street down here. So there's lots of great restaurants and of course shopping, souvenirs. Here's a Slovak restaurant, and then Fat Louie is American style grill restaurant. So many of these buildings were owned by very rich families, and they were the palaces of the family. So these very, very wealthy families that during the empire period, they had influence with the court, and they controlled a lot of the wealth of the country. So they lived very, very wealthy with palaces.
This
and
is GoPro.
Yeah.
Which number?
Number 12.
Number 12.
Yeah.
Last one.
So here is a palace apartment a palace that is now rentals for vacations, and a map of the different palaces. So I can't say it. Yeshenik Palace. Okay. So this gives you an idea of the buildings. They always had a courtyard in the back. So every large building had a courtyard, and now there's apartments for tourists. So everyone's just getting set up for business for a busy day. It's going to be very hot today. Lower 90s they predict. Oh, but it's not too humid, which is good. So here's another palace with a very ornate doorway, which now this palace is now part of the University Library of Bratislava. Very beautiful. Wow. And here's a monument to the revolution. So Bratislava Stare Miesto in 1997. So a lovely view here of St. Michael Street. I love it. It's so beautiful. So many wonderful restaurants and pubs. And then very interesting city passage. Hookah, who like to partake in hookah. And Thai girls. Okay, so this borders on the official business of massage versus sex industry. Kind of seedy. But you know, people who are so poor and desperate to make money, they'll, you know, again, go on that borderline of massage, sex industry. Oh, let's go through here. So the noise of all the delivery trucks is kind of irritating, but it's better to do the video now while it's cool and fresh rather than later when it's going to be hot. So here's a lovely view of the castle. Wow. So this is really charming. Old Bratislava. So let's go explore. Wow. So here you can see is some old decoration from the Soviet period. So during the East Bloc period, when Czechoslovakia was part of the Soviet East Bloc, they had a lot of decorations made that were kind of pseudo old town, but not really authentic. So after, as you can see, this next building has been restored after the change, and some buildings have not been restored. So I really am charmed by the old buildings that have not been touched yet by for 100 years, and this is a great example, a really great example. So you can see the brickwork and then the charm of the broken mortar, and of course every city has graffiti. I don't know, I think Singapore is the only city without graffiti today because they have very, very strong rules. And here, oh my gosh, this is amazing. This is really a time capsule. Wow. This 300-year-old building, original, amazing. A charming street. And then some old buildings that are probably going to be restored eventually. A sign, I don't know what it says in Slovak, but amazing. Oh, so this is a dead-end street here. Oh, but look at this old building. Oh, wow. This is what's so exciting for me as a traveler, is discovering places that are ancient and waiting to be restored. So Bratislava, hopefully in 20 years from now, this will all be lovely restoration. But somebody has a very nice house here at the end, and it's not a dead end. There is a little curve here. The street is really small. Wow. Wow, look at that. How charming. And let's see what's here. This is very interesting. So I believe this is the old wall of the castle wall. From the Middle Ages, so 1,000-year-old wall. Amazing. So the fortress. Preserved, and then they have a support here to keep the wall up. And then the modern highway going through the old town. Okay. So there's the bridge that crosses the Danube River, and over the bridge is a restaurant that they built called the UFO. So you can go up there. I don't know how much it costs, but you can go up there and look at the view. So this is where they would fire the guns to protect the city. So the old church up there, hopefully we can get in and see what's in the church. Wow. Amazing. Okay, so here's some signage up here. Oh, it's a Jewish quarter. Okay, Jews in Pressburg. So when it was part of the Austrian Empire, Bratislava was called Pressburg. And here's about the Jewish quarter. Very interesting. Okay, here's somebody I do not know. Pietro Lichtenthal. Okay, we'll have to look him up. He was close friend of Mozart's wife and son. Interesting. Okay. Another important resident, Adolf Dux. Okay, a writer. And here's another important person, an inventor. And Aram Vamberi, traveler. How interesting. Wow. Oh, so much history. Wow, look at all this. Okay, well, we're gonna cross the bridge and go up towards the castle now. So much interesting history to discover. Okay, well, we've climbed up this hill to look at this little church, but it's not open yet. A very old church, and here's a little park with a statue of a woman with birds. Interesting artwork. And there's the castle, so we're going to continue up, going up to the castle. Okay, we found a map of the outlay of the castle. Very large, complex. So I guess there's two ways to get in: the Vienna Gate and Sigmund's Gate. So we're going to take this way, the closest way. And the view of Old Town Bratislava below. Castle. I don't know what's in the castle, really. I haven't looked up on the internet exactly what there's to see, but they say it's the #1 touristic site in Bratislava. So we'll see. Okay, let's see. The sign says no dogs. All right, and they're open at 8 o'clock, so they should be open. So wow, this castle wall is really, really thick. The foundations built to last forever. So the Bratislava castle has been inhabited since the late Stone Age. The first written record dates to 907. Over 1,000 years. Okay, a lot of history here. So like the Prague Castle that sits up on a hill above Prague, here we also have the Slovak National History Museum up here. Very beautiful. So here's a government building, just like in Prague also they have government buildings in their castle. So I believe we took the back way because it doesn't seem as impressive than the other way from the riverside, but we're here. And there's a sign here. Okay, underground parking. Okay, we don't need parking. We're walking. So all these modern additions to accommodate tourism, underground parking structure. And the gardeners just finishing their job of mowing the grass, keeping everything beautiful. And down below is the children's playground, keeping the children occupied while the adults view the history. I was always a strange kid because I loved history as a kid. I loved museums. Okay, so there's a beautiful gate here. And gardens, wow. This is beautiful. So again, I believe we're on the back end of the castle. That's where the gardens usually are. So lovely, lovely, lovely. And way too hot today to come in the afternoon. Oof. It's already about 85, I think. And it's only 8 a.m. Okay, so let's go to the front of the castle and go inside. Interesting, here on the side of the castle are some ruins of an old basilica. So when Europe was being Christianized, as a monument to the apostles, the early Christian church in the Slavic lands. So it doesn't give a date, but anyway, there's the ruins of the old church from, who knows, 600 years. That's like 1500 years ago. All right, so we're coming up to the incredible view of the main entrance, which we did not take. We took the back way. And here we are with the impressive gate, very Rococo style gate with coats of arms and a view of the Danube River below. And that famous UFO bridge down below. And the impressive castle. Wow. It's really big. And the king, we'll find out which king this is. The first Slovak king, I believe. So the year 846. Wow, that's a long time ago. So the kingdom of Slovakia. I gotta be careful about getting my Slovenia and Slovakia not mixed up. Okay, and it looks like they're gonna have a show. They have a stage set up in the courtyard. Amazing. Okay, well, I found out that we're just here too early. The castle is going to be open at 10 a.m. and it's only 9:15, so that's 45 minutes. Quite a long wait, but here's the view of the Danube, and that goes upstream to Vienna and downstream to Budapest. So the very, very popular Danube river cruises go along the river, and you spend one night in each city. And in the distance are the new electrical wind energy producing facilities. Wow. Giant wind silos producing electricity for the country, clean energy. So Slovakia has worked very hard with the EU to transform the country from a coal-burning country into a clean energy country. They've come a long way. One last shot up from the castle of Old Town, the Danube River, and a beautiful park below the castle here. And there's a nice breeze. So we're gonna head our way down and go visit the Old Town. So many beautiful buildings down there. So we're gonna go down there now and hopefully see a couple of museums. Well, we made our way back down the way we came, and the old fortress wall, and we're in front of the Bratislava Cathedral, and we're gonna go see what's inside. All right, here's the signage for the cathedral, St. Martin's Cathedral, and they have daily mass at 7:30 and noon. And then outside of that, they ask you not to visit during the mass, but for tourists to come after mass. They have audio guides. You can, and they also have an organ festival. How cool is that coming up? Or it's ongoing. So I don't see any event. No, we're gonna not be here for the any organ concert. But here's the entranceway. And here's, you can give donation electronically. So this altar piece is really amazing. The wooden carved altarpiece. Wow. And there's one on the other side too. Well, it's not a huge cathedral, it's very beautiful. It's unusual to have a clock in the church like this. Wow. Well, very nice to see the cathedral here in Bratislava. and learned that many of the Austrian-Hungarian Empire kings and queens, like Maria Therese, were crowned here. So a lot of history. And we're gonna go now into Old Town. So here's a great view of the cathedral, and they have these lanterns, really cool decorative lanterns. Okay, Old Town Bratislava, here we are. And right in front of us is a spectacular building. Oh my goodness. It is so decorative. Wow. So there's Jesus. It used to be, oh, and it still is, a chemist, a apothecary, a pharmacy. So apotheka. So it's in German, Slovak, and Hungarian. And they still are operating. Amazing. Look how beautiful. Oh, so beautiful. Oh my goodness. So this is really quite something. So they have the old pestle where they grind the medicine, and an old scale, and all the antique bottles. Wow. And the drawers. Wow, it's like a museum, but it's still working. Pharmacist. Amazing. So I should buy some medicine. Well, that was amazing. Historical pharmacy like that, that's still operating. So I picked up some ibuprofen, you know, pain relief just in case my arthritis flares up later. But the architecture is amazing. Wow. Okay, so into Old Town we stroll. And Bratislava, being the capital of Slovakia, has all the embassies located here. So yesterday I came across the British embassy, and I see the Spanish embassy up ahead. And another monument. There's so much history. Wow. So at night, these lamps make it really, really romantic walking here in Old Town. And here's another beautiful courtyard. Wow. So there's a nice restaurant with beer and wine, and very charming. Wow. So it's a cellar restaurant. We're not going to go down, but a lot of the restaurants are down in the cellar. So very warm and cozy in winter, and nice and cool in summer. And we're back here on Michael Street, where we started our walk. And here on the corner, I had a pastry, a specialty of Bratislava. It uses the German name Pressburg of these pastries. So let's maybe pick up a pastry. So that's what they're called, the Pressburg Weigel. All right. Hello. So lovely, lovely. I'm back. I was here yesterday. I'm so delighted. Oh, the almond or walnut? That's my problem. Or poppy seed. I like them all. Let's see. I think we'll go today with an almond. So the delicious pastry dough, and then I got myself an almond, so here's the almond. It looks the same. Okay. So good. Well, here's the British Embassy right here. Charming house. And right across is the British Council, sponsoring English lessons. The proper British English. And they also have a German academy. Okay. A lot of learning going on in here. So here's a really beautiful building. Oh. And there's a sign on the front that tells whose palace it was. So all these rich families with their palaces. Oh. Very, very amazing. And now there's restaurants and cafes there. And then next door, another beautiful one. Wow. And then the courtyard, there's a restaurant, or actually a pastry shop. And this is very interesting. It has a very all-white, sterile coffee shop. Very interesting. And here in the courtyard, it's so interesting, they built these two bridges that connect both sides of the buildings. And here's the cake shop. And a steakhouse. All right. And they put in a modern elevator, so people don't have to carry their shopping all the way up there. So what's interesting is, I guess during the war, this got bombed, and so they built in between these beautiful Baroque houses. They built this very sterile, socialistic building, very plain Jane. But then you have all this beautiful Baroque. And here's a church organization, Society of Jesus, that's been here for centuries. Wow. And a lovely art shop if you want to buy some original artwork. Now these wooden doors are really amazing for me. They're probably 200 years old, carved wood. And a very beautiful mint green building here, with some lovely ladies on the side. And a very fancy Burger King. Wow. And here is something that's very interesting. They did this sculpture of a sewer cleaner, I believe, coming out of the sewer. So it says "Men at Work," and it's one of the landmarks in Bratislava. I don't understand why, but I'll have to find out the background on that. Interesting. So ornate from the outside, but on the inside, is the Burger King any different? Oh, it's all modern Burger King. Okay. Oh, they even have the coupons. Okay. Maybe we might have a burger later. You never know. So a lot of souvenir shops and more Thai massage parlors. That's pretty big business, Thai massage. And ice cream, a lot of ice cream shops. Śmierzlina. That's a Slovak word for ice cream. Śmierzlina. And a beautiful coffee house here. Let's check it. Ooh. Oh. I am dying. Look at all these cakes. Oh my god, these are amazing. I want a piece of everything. Oh. Okay, so Cafe Meyer is the oldest coffee house in Bratislava, still running. Amazing cakes, and above it is the Greek embassy. And we're here in the main town square with City Hall behind us. And some beautiful architecture. Wow. And a water fountain. And the water is pretty low, so they don't want you jumping in. And there's the French embassy. Ooh la la. Very beautiful. And the Japanese embassy. Interesting sculpture of a soldier here. The town guardhouse. Wow. Okay. What a beautiful view. Wow. So here's the courtyard into City Hall. Beautiful stonework. So here's the Old Town Hall exhibition of city history. We'll think this is worth a museum to go visit. Oh, what a view. How lovely. Wow. Before we go in, let's check this side. And they have dragons on the benches. Look at that. Ooh, dragon. And a very lovely building here. Wow. So here's another palace and a courtyard, another beautiful courtyard. Wow. So here's in German, I can read German. In diesem Haus wurde der Schlag bei Austerlitz on December 26, 1805, der Pressburger Frieden geschlossen. Okay, so the Battle of Austerlitz was important Napoleonic War, and then the treaty was signed here. And there's St. George and the Dragon. A lovely cafe. All right, let's go check out the City and History Museum. Oh, there's the tourist information office, so we'll pop in there before we go into the museum. And who's on the front here? Oh, the composer! Johann Nepomuk Hummel. So Hummel was very famous Bratislav composer, made his career in Vienna also, and he came right after Mozart, and I think he even knew Mozart. Well, this is a real treat. I'm going to the birth house of Johann Hummel, whose music gets played on the radio occasionally in America. But not many Americans get to visit his birth house. Wow. So this really old house and tiny stairway. Interesting, they preserved the house in this courtyard. Here we are. Little keyboards. Wow. Sketch. Joseph Haydn. And he's famous for his piano trios. He was a virtuoso piano player, so he included piano music into most of his chamber music. Wow. And here's a little brochure. On the Hummel Museum. famous composers he knew and worked with. And he championed his music. He really has a special niche, this composer, between Mozart and Beethoven. And because he carried on the classicism while becoming more lyric, whereas Beethoven, he really broke out and changed the face of music. But Hummel, he respected the boundaries of the classical world and the rules, so that's it. This tiny little museum, a little house. Okay. Well, the Hummel Museum, it was, you know, tiny, like 2 little rooms and few musical instruments. It was very interesting because I'm a music historian and he is a very important composer. So moving on through Old Town, it's almost noon and it's getting very hot, so we're gonna finish up this tour of Old Town and get to the swimming pool. Another courtyard. It's just charming how they have the plants here in the courtyard. And a fountain. Nice. So it's very Renaissance, 1650, late Renaissance. Amazing. And the little boys are taking a leak. Oh, so funny. It's like in Belgium, in Brussels, they have the mannequin piece. Funny. Okay. So moving right along. So down that way we have more modern buildings. And back down here we have more Old Town. And a pretty cool, let's go through here. Nice and cool here in the Passage. Funny posters. All right, we come to our final destination here in Old Town is the Old Opera House. Beautiful Art Nouveau Opera House that is no longer in use. They built a newer, larger opera house, and they're still in the process of trying to make restoration of the old house. So yeah, I don't know how long it'll take, but hopefully one day I can come and visit the old opera house. Then on the square, lovely square, they have restaurants, cafes, gelato, and the #1 hotel in Bratislava, the Carlton. Beautiful hotel. Last night they had a jazz concert here in front on the square. And here is the Philharmonic Hall on the other side. A beautiful Art Nouveau building the Slovak National Philharmonic plays in. I was looking at the season program and they do have a lineup of nice concerts. and with a few international artists coming in. So this is Old Town. Well, I'm glad you enjoy my videos, and I hope you like this one of Old Town Bratislava.